Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another adventure in the mountains. Today's adventure starts just over my shoulder. This slope right here leads up to a cave, this cave. So that's where we're headed. And by the way, if you notice the blue tape around the windshield here, that is because I just got the windshield replaced yesterday. It had half a dozen cracks and a few more rock chips in it. It was a mess, and so I'm finally happy to be able to get that taken care of. And I think there's some, well, I was gonna say I think there's some sort of a trail leading up here. In fact, there's even a sign saying that this is a trailhead, but I don't really see a trail. Let's wander around to see what we can find. And even if there is a trail, I don't think there's a trail that goes all the way up there, but guess we'll see. Whew, okay, we've reached the base of the cave, or the mouth of the cave. Let's take a breather here and then we'll explore a little bit. Welcome to North Fork Cave, and it's called that because the river that I can see out this way, down by the car, so this river here that you can see, this is the Duchesne River, also called the North Fork of the Duchesne River. And so this is called North Fork Cave. And you can see my car, let's see, I parked down here. So it's basically just a straight shot up. There was a decent trail going kind of up this little side gully over here, and then there was a side trail that branched off and led more or less down or over to the base of the cave here. I'm in the Uinta Mountains in northeastern Utah, about an hour and a half from Salt Lake City, and this is a beautiful mountain range. This is the highest mountain range in Utah, and I've mentioned the Uintas and shown them briefly as kind of blurry, snow-covered mountains off on the horizon. I've done that in a couple of recent videos. And so I thought, you know what? It's time for me to give you guys a closer look at these beautiful mountains. And so that's what we're doing today. Starting, of course, with this cave. It doesn't smell great in here. It smells like animal droppings. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but this is all guano of some sort, just piles of animal excrement. And then the floor here too of the cave is also covered in like pack rat droppings or something. I don't know what these are, but anyway, this cave is about, I think, 150 feet deep, I read. You can see, unfortunately, there is some graffiti on the walls here. That's too bad. Let's go a little bit further back, see what we can find. I read that this cave was formed as an underground water system. This is all limestone, and so the water dissolved away the rock here. And then the canyon was formed, and as the canyon, was carved by first glaciers and then the river down there, it exposed the walls of this canyon and exposed this cave. Let's see how far back the cave goes here. It looks like we have some rocks. Whoa, a bat just flew in. That scared me. That was scary. I can still see it back in there. Okay, let's go to this little pile of rocks here and see how far back we can see from there. Okay, so yeah, this is the end. right here. Let's see, are there any dead animals on the ground? Or other unsavory things? Nope, okay, we're clear to go. Okay, I think this is just about it. Not a whole lot to report. I see some daddy long legs or something on the, the walls here. We know there are bats in here. Not a whole lot else. I guess there is some interesting texture on the walls here. Let me show you. Nothing too crazy here, just some little nodules formed from calcite evaporating out of water droplets. There's one of the bugs. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, feels good to breathe some fresh air out of the mouth of the cave again. And let me show you where I'm going next, or at least the direction of where I'm going next. And so once again, here we are looking out from the mouth of the cave. Beautiful views here, just a beautiful place. And our next destination is a mile or two further up the canyon this way. This road keeps going for several miles, but we're not going all the way to the end. We're just going a little bit further up. So let me stop here and have a break and a snack, and I'll hike back down to the car, and then we'll regroup back over at our next destination. Alrighty, so like I said, we're just a couple miles up the road. Here's the Duchesne River. Beautiful spot here, beautiful drive. And I've pulled over here because I wanted to see and show you guys this. This is called the Stone Face. And that really does look like a face, doesn't it? That's amazing. Here we are a little bit closer to it. And then here's the view from basically right underneath it. And it still looks like a face. Looks like a guy with kind of a sneer on his face. You can see the nose, the two eyes, that mouth. And it looks like someone stuck a log or a branch in there. So it looks like he's almost got a cigarette or a lollipop hanging out of his mouth. That is really neat. I love seeing things like that. I've seen one other stone face in Utah, I think. One other in Idaho. I'll put those videos down below in the video description if you want to see those. I'm trying to think if I've seen any others, and I don't think I have. I know there's that famous one in New Hampshire or wherever it is, somewhere in the Northeast. I think that one, didn't it collapse? Didn't it fall down like 10 years ago? Something like that. I think I heard something to that effect. Let me know if you know of other stone faces in the Western US that I haven't been to. I'd love to add those to the list to see in the future. But as neat as that is, and as neat as that cave was, these aren't really the reasons I'm here in this area. I wanted to drive a road. That's really why I came here. And I'm gonna open up the door. It's hot in here. There's no air circulation. One of you guys sent me an email a year or two ago telling me about a road here. It's called Forest Service Road 135. I think I have that right. FR, or Forest Road 135. It goes kind of from this area up and over the mountains here, kind of to another valley, another drainage to the, I think, the east of here. And so that's what I want to drive. I want to drive that road. That road gains something like 3,500 or 4,000 feet in elevation. So we're starting here. Let me see. Our elevation here is 7,163 feet. We're going to be above 11,000 feet. Ultimately, I think we can drive to above tree line. The road itself goes to, I think, 10,000 something feet, but there's a side road that we can take that goes to 11,000 feet, I think. I don't know what condition these roads are in. I don't know if they're passable to a big vehicle like this. Maybe they're best on a side-by-side or something. I don't know, but only one way to find out. Well guys, it was a long drive up here, but I can't say that I'm disappointed. This is amazing. I'm high on a ridge above tree line. And just amazing views all around. I'm looking off into this basin down here now. And some high peaks off into the distance. Just so cool. You can see how a bunch of the trees down in here are gray. These are all, this is all beetle kill. There's a beetle that's ravaging trees, pine trees in North America currently. So that's not great, but doesn't diminish the view. And so this road that I've been going on for the last, I think, 6 miles that led to here. This is an offshoot of the road that one of you guys told me about. And so I didn't really know what to expect, but man, what a cool drive. I love driving above tree line. It just feels so harsh and barren up here. And these trees behind me are just struggling to live, It's just a harsh environment, but so beautiful. I'm parked at about 11,200 feet here, making this one of the highest roads in Utah, but I want to get a little bit higher. More specifically, I want to go climb a mountain over here. You can see this dark bump right here, kind of peeking over this ridge in the middle ground. That's what I want to hike. That's what I want to climb. And so I think from here, I think the plan is to follow this ridge this way, and then I'm not sure exactly what the ridge looks like beyond here, but we'll figure that out. As much as I appreciate the Land Cruiser's ability and willingness to get me this far, it's time to stretch my legs a little bit and go for a hike, cover some ground on foot. As for the road to get here, it really wasn't too bad. I wouldn't have wanted to drive it in my RAV4. I'm glad I had the Land Cruiser. You don't need a ton of clearance, but you definitely need some clearance, and the road was just really rocky. You definitely want good tires, some good all-terrain tires. I was fairly comfortable driving it in the Land Cruiser, but I would have felt really uncomfortable. I would have felt pretty nervous driving that road in the RAV4, assuming even it could have made it. And again, I'm not sure it had quite the clearance needed, but I don't know. I don't know if a Subaru could have made it, but the Land Cruiser did great. Well, as expected, it's started to rain, so I'm gonna go take cover in this little copse of trees over here. And the rain has turned to hail now. Real great, real great. The hail has turned to rain now, and this tree is keeping most of it off. The rain is coming in at an angle, but my legs are getting wet, so I might wait for a break in the rain, break in the weather, and go find a more suitable spot. Well, that wasn't too bad. I was under that second clump of trees for about 10 minutes, and the rain seems to have let up, at least temporarily. I mean, there are gray clouds in every direction on the horizon, so who knows how long it'll last, but there are more clumps of trees up here that I can always run to if I need to. But let me show you the beautiful scenery here. I've gone far enough over on the ridge here that I can see down into the neighboring basin. We've got one lake over here, another one over here, this one here, another tiny little one over here. Really, really cool. Beautiful place. Just wish the weather were a little bit better. But this is the mountain that I'm going up. And so you can see that basically I just need to keep following this ridge. You know, there's not a ton of climbing or anything. I just need to keep traversing, need to keep going over. I'm still a ways away though, so we'll see. We'll see how far I can make it. I'm getting close to the top. I'm not out of the rainy woods yet, but I wanted to show you guys the view off to this side of this other ridge that I just got to. Just absolutely incredible views. How's that for a view? What a feast for the eyes. Just gorgeous. So this lake down here is called Grandaddy Lake. It's one of the largest lakes in this mountain range. And then we have several 12,000 foot peaks off in the distance. And then over here, I think we're getting into some of the 13,000 foot peaks of the Uintas. It's just such a unique mountain range. Like you have this is the main crest of the Uintas, and it's the only mountain range in the lower 48 that runs from west to east instead of north to south, which is interesting. But you have that main crest out there, and then you have these little spurs like this mountain ridge that I'm on, and it's just so kind of flat and rolling in between. So odd. A very unique and beautiful mountain range. And the sun is out, and even though it's a little bit windy, it's beautiful and it feels great to be up here. But let's keep moving. Got to get up to this spot here. This is our destination, so let's keep going. I think this big cairn marks the summit. We're almost there. This mountain is called East Grandaddy Mountain. You might remember that the lake, the big lake that I pointed out down over that way was called Grandaddy Lake, and so this is to the east of that, so it's East Grandaddy Mountain, and then there's also a West Grandaddy Mountain over there. And the view is just incredible. The elevation up here is 11,650 feet, and it really wasn't too bad of a hike. I mean, the rain obviously was the main issue, but as far as the actual hike goes, pretty tame, you know, like not super steep at all. And yeah, awesome. What a gorgeous, gorgeous view. So I'm parked somewhere over here, I think, on one of these kind of flatter areas out here, somewhere in this area. And you can see how, I mean, it was pretty level to get over here. So I just followed this ridge and then followed the ridge coming over here. And here we are. I don't know if you can see it, but out in the distance over here, way off in the distance, you can see some mountains over here, kind of shadows of mountains, the outline of mountains. That's the Wasatch Range. That is Mount Timpanogos, which is probably the most famous mountain in the Salt Lake area. And I made a video about being up there last year. I'll put a link to it down below if you want to see that. And then we're looking over here at the western extent, the western edge of the Uinta Mountains. And then we've got some, again, the 12,000 foot peaks over here, and just tons of lakes, tons of mountains, tons of trees. This mountain, let's see, where are we? This mountain right here is a 13,000 foot peak. It's called Mount Lavinia. This one over here is another 13er called Wasatch Peak. And then beyond that, it gets a little bit muddy. I know the highest mountain in Utah, Kings Peak, is over here somewhere, but it's hard to identify it from over here. And then we've got some lakes down in here. And then just more ridges and basins rolling off in all directions. I want to show you the view down over here. There's some beautiful lakes down in here. If we just hop over on some boulders here, we can take a look. The lakes are just like glittering jewels down in there. What a place. The distance here from my car was 3.72 miles with 636 feet of elevation gain, and that took 2.5 hours. Obviously, it would have been shorter if the weather had cooperated a little bit better. And the weather is holding, but there's some more clouds coming in. So I want to get off this mountain, get back to the car. If you can't tell, I love the Uintas. I love this mountain range. And it's just good to be back up here. You know, I've gone fishing in this mountain range a couple of times this year, but I've never gotten high up. This is the first mountain that I've climbed up here this year. I have climbed several of the 13,000 foot peaks in this range. I've climbed like 7 or 8 of them, and all of those were before I made videos, so I don't have a video to refer to you, unfortunately, or to refer you guys to, unfortunately. But believe me, it's an incredible place. Definitely worth visiting. And again, there are just so many of these basins and lakes and these high exposed ridges. I think I read that the Uintas have the highest exposed area, like surface area, above tree line in the lower 48, apart from the Sangre de Cristos in in Colorado. That's a high mountain range kind of in south central Colorado that has several 14ers in it, and it's kind of like this also, just lots of terrain, long ridges above tree line, and man, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Anyway, enough talking. I'm gonna put a jacket on. It's a little bit chilly up here, and I don't know if I'll see you guys back at the car or down the road somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know. It's now several hours later, the sun has set, and I found a campsite, an awesome campsite in a beautiful area. Let me show it to you. So here's the main road that I came in on. Here's where I'm parked for the night. I might mess around with the exact positioning of the car to get a good spot, but this is in general where I'm camping tonight. In front of some cliffs here, and with some more mountain views up the valley. And there's a little creek that's 50 feet from where I'm parked. Look at this, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that idyllic? Nice little babbling brook. And I'm parked right there. I have been in this valley before. I camped a few miles down the valley about 4 years ago, and at that time I was kind of enchanted. I was smitten by this place and just how beautiful it is, how remote it felt, how remote it still feels, and I'm happy to be back. This is such a cool area. the Uintas in general, of course, but you know, you get away from the super crowded places and it's easy to find solitude. And speaking of solitude, I haven't seen a soul in hours and hours and hours since I was on the paved road where the stone face and that cave are. I haven't seen anyone since then. It's just been me and all of this vastness, and it's been just a joy to be able to experience this beautiful place. And I hope you guys enjoyed some of the footage of me coming down kind of over the pass, down from a pass that I went over there in the car. Lots of switchbacking turns. That was kind of the second half of the drive that viewer who recommended this area to me, that was the second part of that drive that he recommended. Just lots of tight, hairpin, very kind of switchbacking turns in this beautiful area with these crazy cliffs on the side. Just awesome. You can't go wrong in this area. Can't go wrong in this mountain range. But man, I've just been loving it today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video too. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. As far as what I'm doing next, as far as the next video goes, so I'm spending the night here, obviously, and then I'm going to be spending a few days fishing the southern slope of the Uintas, the southern side of this mountain range, and so I'm really looking forward to that. After that, I'm going to film one more SUV RVing video, so like in 4 days, I guess, I'll meet back up with you guys somewhere, either in Colorado or on the Utah-Colorado border. Most of that video is going to be in Colorado, so stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.